Hi folks, Paul Plumb here with the Chamber and Development Council of Crawford County. With today's podcast, we're going to get started here in just 1 minute.
This is Crawford County Connect, the podcast that brings you closer to the heart of Crawford County. Brought to you by the Chamber and Development Council of Crawford County. Our mission is to foster connections, celebrate local stories, and explore the diverse tapestry of our region. From the rolling hills to the bustling streets, Crawford County is alive with history, culture, and the spirit of community. Whether you're a longtime resident, a newcomer, or simply curious about life in our corner of the Midwest, join us as we dive deep into the fabric of our county, uncovering the tales of its people, business, and organizations that make it thrive. Through engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and captivating narratives, Crawford County Connect will be your guide to understanding the past, navigating the present, and envisioning the future of our vibrant community. So sit back, tune in, and let's embark on this journey together as we connect, inspire, and empower one another through the stories of Crawford County, Iowa.
Hi folks, thanks for tuning in today. We have Candace Mezick here today. Candace, did I pronounce your last name right? I should have asked you that before.
Oh, no, you said it right.
Perfect. Hey, got an interesting program going on. New to the area, you've got a Dungeons and Dragons program going on. Tell us a little. Well, first, tell us a little about you. You're fairly new to the community. Tell us a little about your background and that type of thing.
Okay, so I'm obviously new. I just, me and my family, we are from Georgia. From the accent, you could probably tell. We celebrated 1 year in Denison, January 1st of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a great year. Had so much fun. We have loved the move from the Midwest. It's been quite interesting, the difference in weather, should we say.
Especially this last week, right?
Yes, especially. And, you know, we run and operate the Pauley Jones Funeral Home here in town.
Very nice. So, talking about the Dungeons and Dragons a little bit, how'd that become a thing here in Denison?
Okay, so before we moved to Denison, our boys were really involved in a Dungeons and Dragons group in Georgia, and I just saw such a really big impact in their life because at that time, and still at this time, our kids are not really big into sports. They're just not outdoorsy people. And so they were having some issues connecting with some of their peers. And when they were involved in the Dungeons and Dragons group, it made such an impact in their life. You know, they came home and were telling me all sorts of fun stories and, you know, all the laughter and adventures that they had.
Sure, that's awesome. So maybe step back a step. Tell us, for those of us who might be watching that don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game. You have a dungeon master who sets up the campaign, and he kind of leads them to where he would hope, you know, the players will go. Players can go rogue. They can make and create their own players, come up with their own weapons, their backstory, and, you know, they have several different dice. They have like D20s. Which is just, you know, the number on the dice that they have to roll before they do any kind of task. So when they roll the dice, that lets them know how well or how not so well they achieved their goal.
Very nice. So, so is that something that tell me a little bit about the groups that you've had? How many meetings so far on this?
Okay, so we had our first initial meeting back in February, the beginning of February, and we actually ran into a very good problem to have. We had too many individuals show up.
Very nice.
And so we had to split up into two groups, Group A and Group B. And we just had our first meeting, I guess you can say, where we finally got to play the game for our first group, and they had so much fun. I mean, that whole building, you could hear laughter everywhere. It was it was just great.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. So what's the future look like for the group?
For the future, I hope that, we can still continue to grow and to play together and have fun and make memories. And that, that these individuals, that it kind of boosts their confidence, because, you always want to, with the individuals growing up, you want them to have good confidence in themselves, because then they can do better.
Sure. And what age groups do you have right now coming to the event?
So we have a variety of ages. We've got several middle schoolers, we've got some high schoolers, we have some young adults, and then we've got some older adults there. So. Very
nice. So I think I heard from your husband, Chaz, that maybe you divided it up by age to make it a little better for everybody's.
Yeah, I did.
Nice, very nice. So tell me, what if somebody wanted to get involved with this? What would they need to do?
So they can just call the funeral home and reach out to me, and just to kind of see, about if they want to join. Anybody's welcome to join. We will work them into the campaign as much as possible. We do have them on Wednesday nights from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And we do furnish a small meal and refreshments for those who come and join.
Very nice. So you talked a little bit about coming from Georgia. What's been your favorite thing about Crawford County since you got here?
The thing I love about Crawford County, believe it or not, is when we're out driving, like saying when we're going to the Klondike Hotel for one of their events. I love looking out into just the valleys, just the valleys and the rows of corn. It is the best and the beautiful sight you can ever see.
I actually take that route every day to work and back home if I can, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite parts of my day too. I'm getting to the point now where it's getting to be the norm, but I have to remind myself that, hey, this is a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Right here, that a very scenic route.
It is beautiful.
How about what's the biggest thing you miss about Georgia?
Oh gosh, the biggest thing I miss about Georgia, it would probably, I do miss, I have some friends back home. My best friend, I call her my sister. I do miss her extremely a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. And that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest things when you ever are away from home is you miss your family and your friends. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything about the Dungeons and Dragons that we should know that I haven't asked you about?
No, I think, anybody is welcome to join. It's just the only kind of thing I have asked is, it's just to be 12 and up. If parents are dropping off their children, it's just to fill out a consent form. It's just a basic information, a way for me to reach out to the parent, emergency contacts, and I always ask for a list of allergies because there is food involved.
Good idea.
So, other than that, 12 and up and consent forms and free food and lots of fun.
Great. Well, Candace, thanks so much for being here today and telling us about this great program you have going. Feel free to stop by anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
As we wrap up another episode of Crawford County Connect, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our listeners for joining us on this exploration of our vibrant community. We hope that you've enjoyed the stories, insights, and connections shared today. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Stay connected with us on social media and visit our website at www.cdcia.org. From there, you can stay updated on upcoming episodes, events, and opportunities to engage further with Crawford County. We also want to extend a special thank you to the Chamber and Development Council of Crawford County for their support in making this podcast possible.